All right. Hi, Bill. Is it wet enough for everyone?
No.
It was like, I mean, it sounded like, this morning I was teaching my studio and it sounded like, like someone was taking a shower, like it was a shower outside, you know. But that's normal. I mean, it was.
So much rain.
Oh, yeah, I know. So here we are, and let's go ahead and take the arms out to the sides. Good. And then your right arm over the other, and you wrap. Take the arms up high. Breathe in. Exhale. And we're going to circle, and I will talk about our dedication as we're moving. Today is Diwali. It's the Happy Diwali. If anyone here celebrates Diwali, it's a Hindu festival. And it is, let's go ahead and reverse the circles. We could say it's a festival of lights, but it's also, it's a festival that celebrates the victory of good over evil. That's how, a lot of stories representing that. Let's go ahead and go the other way. But with our dedication, I will dedicate the class to Diwali as a celebration of light. And go ahead and take the arms up and then circling and circling. In today's session, we'll have a combination of strength and stretching poses and new influences. So Tuesday's class went over pretty well, and so I'll do circles again because that it really worked out nicely. Working with that, so you're extending your arms, and then hands are right onto your shoulders, and you make circles. Elbows touch. Elbows come up, they're right beside your arms alongside your ears and out to the sides and down and continue. Are you hitting the wall? No. And there's Diane. It's great. I think we're all feeling a little more confident. We know we're all vaccinated and good. And then next time the elbows touch, come down, out to the sides and up. Hi, Vadra. Up, elbows down. Good. One more. So really moving through the shoulders. Good work. And then from here, we'll come forward, stretching your low back. And then walking the hands over to one side. And really stretching your low back. And then walking across the other way, lowering your head and stretching your low back. Good. And then coming back through center. And there's Julie. All right. And then from here, we're going to pull knees right into chest, stretching your lower back. And hands are right onto your knees and you circle. You take the knees together, you take the knees in towards chest and continue with your circling. And then next time the knees touch, go ahead and reverse the circles. And then from here, next time the knees touch, keep them together as you continue to circle. Hi, Gio. It's online, and Shelly. Okay, so you're circling. And there's a little rocking. And then circle in the opposite direction. All right. And then from here, we're going to pull right knee into chest and begin to circle the knee. So it's like my knee is bent. I don't have to use my hands at all. My hands could be under the head. And the knee goes out to the side. When you straighten, then you straighten your leg hovers above the mat, and then you cross midline and you continue the circles. What you could do is flex when the leg is straightened and then point when the knee is bent. Just like it makes you kind of concentrate on the movement. Yeah. So in this one, you're using your core and you're minimizing the movement of the pelvis. So when my knee goes over to the right, I have to engage a little core to stay on my back, like instead of not like rolling to the side. Okay, reverse the circles. And like I say, this is when the leg starts to feel a little heavy. Yeah. Good. And then next time when you're done, just place your right foot on top of left knee and come across to a twist. Left hand draws the leg across, right arm extending, turning your head towards the right. Getting a nice spiral. And then let's go ahead and come back to center, and we're going to do the other side. So we start out now with pulling left knee to chest. And then you could place your hands onto the back of your head and you start the circles. And think about how you're steadying your pelvis. It'll move. I mean, your pelvis will rock a little bit, but if you engage your core, you minimize the rounding. And let me see. There's 11 online. That's nice. Okay. Yep. And so when you draw the knee in, you're flexing the ankle as you extend the leg. I'm sorry, you flex when you extend, you point when you draw in. Yep, that's what I meant to say. Reverse the movement. Remember to cross midline. So when the knee comes center, it kind of comes over a little bit. And one more here. Now we're going to place the left foot on top of the right knee. And you can release your arms from underneath your head so your right hand can draw, can help the knee come across. You're turning your head to the left and trying to get your left shoulder down. While I'm thinking of it, of course, usually we'll email also about things, about announcements, but Thanksgiving week, I won't be here. I'll be with my family. So on Tuesday, Annette Romano is teaching. She's back. She's teaching here. So she will teach same 10:30. She'll be in studio and she'll have the iPad set up for online. So same deal on Tuesday the 23rd. And then on Thanksgiving Day, she also offered to teach a class, but at 9:30 in studio and online. So that's really nice. Classes the holiday week. It's my birthday week, so going away. Okay, we're coming out. Good work. And as you come out, go ahead and pull knees right into chest. Pull the knees into chest. Good work. All right, so working with circles, okay, go ahead and take hold of a block and bring the block to your feet. Bringing the block to your feet, all right? And then Julie, maybe when you're up, you could grab a strap as well, or maybe Badri. Okay, so the block is at your feet. And to make it easier, you may want to start out with your hands on your low back. You don't have to, but we're making circles. And what you're doing is you're squeezing into the block. And I know every once in a while the block drops and you hear boom. And it's, you know, I mean, it happens. But if you squeeze in consistently, you should be able to hang on to the block with your feet as you're making circles. So on Tuesday's class, we did lots of asanas with circles, and here we are again working that. I don't use no two classes are identical, but you'll see some overlap. So keep circling now, second direction, if you haven't switched yet. Yep. Oops. And one more here. Good. And then keep the block in place and just pull knees into chest, stretching your lower back. Yeah. All right. So the legs are up in the air. You're squeezing into the block and you're going to lift your head, have your hands behind your head. You can also reach your arms up. So the front abdominals active, 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 and then lower. Breath in. Exhale, lift. So when you lift, you're also squeezing into the block. So your inner thighs are active. You're getting your shoulder blades up off the mat and then lower. All right. So come on up to sitting. We're actually working towards what I call rock and roll. And I know it doesn't work for everybody. So then I show different ways. So we're going to kind of modify. You don't need your blocks or anything. So when you're sitting, you have the soles of the feet together and you're upright. You can also come forward. And when you come forward, so you're trying to take your head closer to your feet. And then when you come back, because not everyone does the plow. So if you don't, you come back and you reach. You could cross one ankle over the other. You could support your head the whole time. You could cross the other leg over.
Are your shoulders up?
They are. I'm trying to lift them up. Now they are.
Okay. So
Trying to lift shoulder blades up. And then bend the knees. Take your hands behind the knees. Come up. And once again, soles of the feet are together. And you lower your head and you stretch forward. So you get the inner thigh stretch, the back stretch. Okay. So you repeat that in keeping the same rhythm as the others. And then others are going, oh, I'm going to reach back into plow. And the feet maybe up above the floor or touching. And then lower. And come up, everyone. Soles of the feet are together. Lower your head. Can this be, if you're doing the roll back, can it be slow and working your strength? So you're coming back into plow. And slowly coming up, all of us, to bound ankle. Lower your head, bring your head towards your feet. We'll do two more, coming back. And coming up, soles of the feet together and lowering. Last one, come back. We're going to stay on our back. So we're coming to plow or doing your abdominal strengthening. And then we lower and we're on our backs and we're going to come to half lotus. So you're holding your right foot and you're going to make circles with your foot. So circling and circling. So the circle originates from your hip joints. There's a way I can do this and really not move much of my hip, but I want to move the hip. And then reverse the circle. same leg, reverse circle. And then let's take it the other direction, holding your left foot this time, knee pointed out to the side, and circle. Circling. If you haven't reversed, go ahead and reverse when we get into the hip joint. All right, and then finally releasing. We're coming all the way up. Now we're coming to onto hands and knees, and you it's hip circles, so you may find that you need padding at this point for under your knees. And we'll start out. You choose your direction and circle. It's a pretty free movement. I've never seen anyone do this wrong or incorrectly. So you're moving into your shoulders, moving into your back and your hip joints. There's an arch in there. And then go ahead and reverse the direction. And the objective is to render your spine more supple, so to kind of feel like you're really working with movement to your spine very youthful. And then next time, whenever you can, you're going to come back to child's pose. Bring your hands back by your heels. Rounding your back and making like a little child, a little circle. Good. And then from here, we have Shavasana, it's called, or hare pose. So basically my knees are still on the sticky mat. I'm going to clasp my hands. I'm going to bring my head down. You can do this, of course, from hands and knees, and then bring your arms up. Yep. So there's weight on the top of your head, and your back is rounded. And some like to bring knees closer to forehead, or maybe you're fine just as you are. Your rabbit ears can move around. And you can also move your head so that you're making a circle, and it should feel, sometimes it's odd because, we don't put a lot of weight on our head very often, unless of course you're doing headstands. So you're purposefully very little weight on your head as you make these kind of circles, and then circle in the opposite direction. Good. And then your hands are forward, so we can come back to downward facing dog. And as you're here, spread your hands wide. Take a moment to send your sits bones back. Yeah, and since no one can really see you, your head is down. At home, no one really can see you if you're practicing alone. You could open your mouth and stick out your tongue. Those of us in class, we can't do that. We have a mask on. Well, maybe you can't. You stick out your tongue and you bring your tongue towards your chin. I can't. Yeah, it's really funny. I didn't think about it until I started doing it. I thought, whoa, I can't do that. And then come forward and then with that, especially because I have that little plastic insert,
Yeah,
you can't do that.
I thought maybe it's a room, but.
Yeah, no. And then look upward and arch.
That one was out of the vault, friend.
That one was out of the vault?
Yeah.
Which one? The stick your tongue out?
Yeah.
That's lion. Okay, so we're gonna come back again. Now, this is, there's, what's coming up is going to be, eventually, it's gonna be what we call mandala, which suggests a circular drawing. But right now, and that's from dolphin. Right now, we're in downward facing dog. But I want you to practice what it's like to move in mandalasana when it's easier from downward facing dog. So you're looking at your feet. Imagine your hands are at 12 o'clock, your feet at 6 o'clock, and you're going to walk your feet over to 7 o'clock. It's much easier from downward facing dog. You're looking at the 6 o'clock mark on your mat, and then walk your feet over to 7 o'clock. And I'm sorry, 8 o'clock, and then maybe you go to 9 o'clock. Yep. And then walk back to 6, and maybe you're going to go 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Some can go further. Okay, and then you make your way back and lower. Come to kneeling for a moment and work on your wrists. That's the hardest part about that, is the weight on the wrist. I mean, I think so, but it might be something else. So now we're on our elbows, and I think maybe no blanket in place. All right. So as you're here, I need a little more space. Okay, so you just imagine you're sitting in the center of a big circle. Your elbows are down. Your hands can be towards the front end of your mat. Clasp your hands to make it easier, or palms are flat. And lift your knees. So now you're kind of understanding why I did that from downward facing dog, because it's more approachable. But here we are. You're on your elbows. Let's walk the feet back. Come into plank. And let's pretend we love plank. We don't have to pretend that we love being strong. We like that feeling, but to get there is a whole different story. Breathe in, exhale, and then lift and walk your feet in again. Dolphin with the top fin. Now your feet are at 6 o'clock. Your eyes are going to stay at 6 o'clock as your feet move to 7. And then your feet are going to move to 8. And your feet will move to 9. Yep. And then walk back. And we're going to rest it out. Oh, thank you. They're thanking me here. Okay, so maybe they thank me online, but I can't hear because I muted them. Okay, so hold your heels. Good work. Breathing in. Exhale. So mandala is like, a circular drawing, right? Often depicting a deity or a story. All right, so let's go second side. And here we are. Clasping hands or not. Coming up. Shake out your head. Your feet are at 6 o'clock. If you want to make this more challenging, who knows, maybe you do. You would walk your feet closer in, get your hips up even higher, and then walk to 5 o'clock. Walk over to 6. 5, 4. Walk over to 3. And your eyes still gazing towards that 6 o'clock position. Come back. You survived mandalasana. Come down and reach your hands back by your feet. Rest out your arms. Breathe in. Exhale. I don't know. Do you like that one, or do you? They're not talking. It's kind of scary. They're not even complaining, which is even more scary. Okay, let's come back to downward facing dog. And once in downward facing dog, we're going to walk back towards our feet. Walk towards your feet. And when you walk to the feet, have your feet really wide, hands to elbows, and let yourself hang and swing. Side, 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 side. Stretching your sides. And then come back to center, bring your hands right onto your thighs, push on up. Good. Ooh, okay. And once you come out, just shake it out a little bit. Look like you've been like through the ringer here. Yeah. Shake out one leg. It's a tricky way to get you to balance because you're thinking, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Shoot, I gave it away. Okay, and then the other one, shake out your leg.
And I know you said balance now.
Yeah, as soon as I said that, everybody kind of went, whoa, it's balance. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to come to a squat. It's really about as wide as your mat. That's where I want your feet. And you can modify or come all the way down. So much like what you said, Badra, so much of what, I mean, not everything, but there's so many instances where it's kind of like that mind over matter. You know, if I didn't mention, if I never said that mandalasana is, you know, can be challenging, maybe it would be less challenging, you know, I don't know, but it's, yeah, it's very interesting how we go into balance. If we go into it in a playful way, often we're you know, better at it. So, okay, so let's go wide here. You could face, so if you're like at the front of your mat, maybe you're gonna step outward so you can see yourselves in the mirror. I don't know, maybe it's your right foot that leads the way. And we're coming to a triangle. So I'm leading with my left foot facing the front of my mat and extending the arms and breathe. Good. And then you come out, you come into the pose, and my lower hand doesn't really, I'm not holding myself up by leaning, but I do use this lower hand, helps me with leverage. Like it helps me to, I can push. I don't want to lean against the left leg, but I can push against the leg and as leverage to get myself to not look to the floor, to kind of rotate. So we're going to take the right arm up over ear and then drop it down, let it swing. And continue, the arm comes back by your hip and makes a big old circle coming up. Let's try that again. Arm comes up over ear and then it comes down and you let it swing, let your head hang. And then the arm is by the pelvis and all the way up. Let's come up. And you could stay just as you are. We could turn the other way. Right foot is leading the way and extending your arms. Shift your pelvis, come into your triangle. And taking your top arm up over ear, stretching through the side ribs. And then dropping the arm, let it swing, let your head hang. And rebuild it again. Arm comes past the pelvis all the way up into the air and lengthen. And then we're going to take the arm up over ear and then drop the arm. This is the second time, just let it swing. And then take the arm back by the hip and all the way up and then come out of the pose. Good work. Let's take the heels and toes turned out. So you're wide legged, still in a horse, and you'll drop down. And as you're here, you could shift side to side. You can also kind of make circles. Yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, it's a free movement. You're trying to make circles, be safe on your knees, of course. And then reverse your circles. Good. And come on up. I'll face the way they facing. So the feet are still really wide. And you're coming to a forward fold. If you need your blocks, you use blocks. You're going to walk your hands forward onto the, probably off the mat on the floor for you. And lengthen out your spine. When you exhale, draw your belly in. Just kind of create the hollow. And then turn it the other way. So your hands now are going back. And if you're real tight, they're not going to go very far back. Now, maybe you can walk them back like you're walking towards the back edge of your mat. That's it. And it's like you're trying to reach that back edge of the mat and let the top of your head look down. I think most people are afraid they'll fall in this. Like, what's stopping you from tumbling? Your feet are stopping you. Your feet are pushing down into the mat. And then come on up. And it's good to go upside down. It's actually really good for the vestibular, like for overall balance, going upside down, eyes open. Good. And then we have another one here. So we're going to take left arm up. The legs are still wide, left arm up. And then you'll shift over towards your right foot. So this is where you might need a block. Maybe you're able to reach your foot. Elongate your back, turn, and look to the wall behind you. In the studio here, we're looking at the bars. And then your top arm comes up and your hand could be looking at the bars. That's it. And then we're going to sweep up and bring the arms up into the air. This time we'll face the camera. And we come down again. So now it's your right hand moving towards your left and you're twisting. The left arm is coming up and breathe. So your head is trying to move towards the left as well. And then sweep up and let's step to the front of the mat. Step to the front of the mat. I'll be this way. Yeah. So I think of sun salutations as very circular. It's like there's a beginning, there's an end. It's like a circuit. I always think of it as being on a circular trail, circuit. All right, so here we are at the front. If you want your blocks, you could, you know what? Let's have the blocks because we could work on a hip flexor stretch as well. So I'll have my blocks. You don't need them the whole time, just for one movement. Okay, so hands are to heart center. The first of 12 movements, the easiest one, mountain. And then reach up, extend, and lift your heart, look upward. And then lower, bend your knees, reaching either for the blocks. You can go really low with the blocks or your hands down. Now the blocks will be on high end as you take your right foot back and we work with the lunge. Oh, the blocks. Oh, she's done. And stretching your right hip flexor. They're the same size, so it doesn't matter if they're different colors. Okay. All right. So you might say, wow, maybe you can bring your blocks back a little bit and be a little more upright, or maybe leaning forward is where it is for you. See how that works. Back leg is straight. Now we're going to bend the knee a little bit and it's going to hover above the floor. I know it looks like it's touching the mat, but it's not. I guarantee it's not. And then you're going to straighten. And then do that one more time. Knee hovers, bends a little bit, and straightens. Now, back heel down, warrior one. And extend. Palms could touch, it's more classical, or the hands are shoulder distance apart. Hands are spread wide. Bend a little more into your left knee. And then coming down, we're going to move the blocks out of the way. They'll be close by. And press back, downward facing dog. Come forward to plank, feet are together. Hands are spread wide. We're going to lower right onto the belly. Elbows brush across the ribs as you lower slowly. And you have your pelvis down, tops of the feet down. Hands are by your pelvis lift. So you're exercising your back. You're strong for your back here. If you don't come up very high, look down. If you come up fairly high, you can look forward and not strain your neck. Hook your thumbs together behind the back. Rehook the thumbs. Look past your right shoulder. Keep your right hip down. And look the other way. Look past your left shoulder. Back to center. Come onto your elbows. You could bring your feet slightly closer in and work Sphinx pose. You could be right here, or you could extend your arms. Tops of the thighs pressing down. Make a circle with your head. And circle the other direction. And then from here, lower, bring your forehead down. Let's press back to child's pose. Stretch out your spine. And downward facing dog. Right leg swings up into the air and right foot steps forward. So this is where we want this blocks again. And you decide if you want them like alongside your feet or maybe closer into your pelvis. Hello, hip flexors. How does that happen? And then bend the knees and take your knee really close to the mat, but not all the way down, and then straighten it. Yeah. Even closer, Julie. Gonna hover, hover, hover. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and then straighten. Okay. Is anyone else leg tremble in that?
Yeah.
It's like so back heel down and moving the blocks out of the way. Upward. And breathe. And then lower and we'll step forward. So feet can be together on this forward bend. Take a moment to relax, stretch, let gravity take hold of your spine. And then bring your hands on your shin bones, lengthen it out, and fold it again. Soften knees, sweep the arms out to the sides, all the way up. Arch back. And hands to heart center. Second round, maybe I'll face this way just now. Right, see. Reach up, inhale. And exhale, down. Look ahead of you. And fold in. Good job. Wow. Okay, left, everyone's looking very limber today. Left leg steps back. And once again, I'm going to use the blocks just slightly lower. And any way you want to work in this, if you like what we did earlier, knee down, who's going to do that? Or you could shift side to side, something that's going to help you to release your hip flex. And then the back heel anchors down and the arms reach up high. Warrior one. And then coming down, moving blocks out of the way, downward facing dog. The feet will definitely come together here. And then we'll come forward into plank. And we'll come to side plank. If you want to make it easier, knees down, and you can go left or right. It really doesn't matter. We'll do both sides. So you can have feet side by side, one knee down if you want, or feet stacked. Good. Strong. And then take it the other direction. Cross. Back to center. And then we're going to lower Chaturanga Dandasana. So of course you can drop your knees down if you need to, or lower. And then once here, bring your forehead onto your hands, one hand over the other, forehead down. And we're going to swing the right leg up and across, right leg up and across. You're rolling onto your right leg up and across, rolling onto your left hip, bending your right knee, tapping the floor with the knee and or tapping the floor with the foot and the knee pointing up. How's that? And then release. I said it like that was so hard to say. Okay, the other leg comes up across, knee pointing up and toe tapping. There you go. That's it. And then release. Come onto your elbows. What did my teacher Vikashananda say? You think, you sink. When you do yoga, you think, you sink. It was like, cracked me up. And well, first he said, when you think, you sink. And I'm like, you need to think in life. He's like, no, when you do yoga, you really, if you start thinking about stuff, it just doesn't work out, right? Like, I'm balancing. Okay, and if you can, straighten. So don't think. And then release and lower your head. So we're grabbing hold of one foot. And here's what I would say, it's going towards both. Not everybody does both. So you might say, yeah, I think I'll come on my side and hold my foot. Or maybe you're on your belly and you're holding your foot. Maybe you're doing both feet. And then if you're doing both feet, time for you to switch. And if you're doing 1 foot switch, if you're doing both feet, you can start to kick your legs back. Wow. And come into bow. Look at all these bows. And you can rock. Another circle. and then release and bring your forehead down for a moment. Would you say, Julie? It's a rectangle. I said there's another circle, and Julie said it's a rectangle for me. And then let's come back and come into child's pose. Stretch out your back. And downward facing dog. Well, it's left leg. So the left leg is going to swing up into the air and left foot comes forward. It's like, wow, seems like a long time ago that we were here on the other side. and then here we are. So anything you want to do, if you want to lower your knee and you can move through your foot. Yep. And then start to align for warrior 1. So back heels down, make your way up, pelvis squared, reach the arms up and breathe. Beautiful. Come on out and we're step forward into your forward bend. Let's add Utkatasana chair. So the feet are together. You're starting to bend your knees. It's all about strong legs. Take a moment here and then reach your arms up. And inhale, exhale, and then push heels into the mat. Lift, arch back, and hands to heart center. Oh, I know, it's like a journey, really, as your arms swing out to the sides all the way up. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. And last one, inhale up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, so do we have, I'm gonna attempt it. Let me just see, I never know if that, someone have an iPhone or like a correct time? Do you have your Apple Watch? Somebody know? Yeah. 11:15. Okay, so that's fast. Good. We have time to go around the world. Oh, everyone's like, oh no, when is that? Okay. It's now they change the time and tell me it's 11:20. Time for Shavasana. I am not asking John what time it is. He's going to say.
Hey, this is great.
So there's an old story of Iyengar teaching a class, and he forgot to give them Shavasana. He forgot to give the students Shavasana. Let's stretch your. So, oh, by the way, I put a blanket along my right leg. Only if you do pigeon, you'll want that blanket. If not, you'll be doing thread the needle. You won't use the blanket. Have your right leg up in the air, hamstring stretch. You'll see how we go around the world. So Iyengar was teaching a class. My friend was on this wait list to study with BKS Iyengar in Pune for, he was on a wait list for like 2-3 years, and he finally got on there. And he said the class was enormous. They called him and he had, your turn has come up. You need to show up in Pune next week. So he's there and he said, BKS Iyengar forgot to put them in Shavasana. And they're working really hard. And then then Iyengar he goes, oh my God, Gita, I forgot Shavasana. And they were making everybody go into instant Shavasana. It was really funny. You relax. So funny. My friend told it so it's such a great way. You can't relax on demand. So let's take the right leg out to the side. Stretch your inner thigh. It makes me feel better when the master teacher forgets things like Shavasana. Okay, we're going to come across. Your choice is to bend the knee and twist or come over with your straight leg. Come across. Use the strap if you need to. We're doing the abbreviated form here. And then usually we hold a little longer. Then you come over to threading the needle and your right leg on top of the other. Right hand comes through the triangle and you hold your left knee. If you want to truly go around the world, that's what you do. You're going to roll onto that blanket on your right and you're coming to pigeon. You got it, Bhadra. Okay, so some of you are like, I don't have a blanket on my right, so you could always shift back onto your mat. That's fine. And there you are. If it works for you, you're in pigeon. John, no pigeons for you today. No. And lengthen the spine, look upward. Nice. Lower your head. One more breath here. If you're in pigeon, lower your head. Breathe in. Exhale. And then roll onto your back. You can either take that blanket on the other side, or you can do what I'm doing, turning around on my mat, and then left leg up in the air. So we go around the other half of the world and stretching your left leg. We're going to take the leg out to the side, left leg out to the left. Did I do that first? Anyways, yeah, left leg out to the left, so inner thigh stretch. And then take the leg across. So now you have the twist and leg stretch. Your knee, if you bend your knee, it's easier. The leg straightened, more intense.
Doesn't matter when it's like covered.
So that's a good question. The question is leg hovering as high as hip or leg comes down. For me, I've always liked the leg to be as high as the hip, not resting down. Because I feel like there's an element of working it. Like I have to work more to keep my leg. If I drop it down, I feel like I just hang out. So is it right or wrong? I'm not sure, but I feel like it's more effective to have the leg hover. Also, if people are really limber, and they drop their leg, I think it's hyper stretching. So anyways, we're gonna bend the left knee and you're gonna come across. You're gonna come across, you're coming up and you're coming over into the second side of pigeon. One way or the other. You can do your own way, your own method. And some of you, I forgot to do the threading needle, didn't I? I'm rushing it a bit, sorry. So you might say, no, I'm going to start with threading the needle on my back, and then I'll go into pigeon when I'm ready, or you'll stay on your back and thread the needle. And then let's go ahead and come out, and you're going to come right onto your back again and pulling knees into chest. Just at the end here, we're coming up into a bridge. And so what I like about bridge at this point is it's asking your muscles, you have this new alignment, and it's asking your muscles to hold you in this new alignment. It's very symmetrical. Breathing in. Exhale. And then lower, and you have happy baby as a way to release your back. Hold on to your feet. And then relax your legs, and I would like you to lie on your back. So we have Shavasana, and we've got a good 5 minutes here to simply be.
Completely relax your body. Especially right now, focusing on relaxing your feet and your legs. Continue this relaxation process by relaxing your torso, your ribs, the length of your spine, and your neck, completely relaxing. Continue to relax your arms, your hands, and your face. And today, as we dedicate this class to light and the festival of Diwali, I think bring you my favorite quote from Martin Luther King Jr. And most of you know this quote: "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that." And hatred cannot drive out hatred. Only love can do that. And so as we lie in Shavasana, as we're starting to kind of come out, we think about how we are the light, how we are the light, how we can be the light. And the light emanates from each of us, and how we can be love, the love needed in this world, how love can emanate from each of us. Endless sources of light and love inside. So go ahead and start to move your hands, move your feet, and start to roll to one side